The first thing I'll say is I'll review tomorrow at 7:45 at night. If anyone, I'll be around tomorrow. If anyone wants a review in school, just send me an email and we could figure out a time. But I'll be around. There was also that perfect comp monopoly video, which you could probably see in market structures. It's probably placed there. That'd be a good review video for the FRQ, because the FRQ could either be on perfect competition, monopoly, or natural monopoly. I mean, the big FRQ. The ultimate review guide has 2 practice tests, and I have a practice test that I gave you. So tomorrow, again, I'll be like here at 7:45 to go over any questions you have. I'm going to start today by just like giving you a minute to graph these 3 graphs. I would say when I ask you to graph them, you should try to graph them and not think you know them. I think a lot of times guys think they know the graphs, but when you actually do them. And then I have some multiple choice questions for you, okay? And again, like tomorrow, I will just answer any questions you have on anything, the practice question, test, or anything like that. All right. So the first thing is I'll give you like a minute. If you didn't take the outline and print it, if you just have a piece of paper or something by you, I would suggest just drawing a side-by-side in the long run. I'll give you a minute to do that. Then I'll throw up the slide so you could see. A lot of times, again, we think we know it, but I think the best thing is to draw it and to make sure you know it. Okay, here is the side-by-side. I drew the AVC. You didn't have to, just to show you. It also allows me to remind you that the supply curve is the MC above the AVC. Why? Because anything below the AVC was shutting down, so we're not supplying. Also, between the AVC and the ATC is average fixed cost. Notice as output increases, average fixed cost decreases, and that's why it gets narrower. What happened there? I don't know what happened. All right. And then MC should go through ATC at its lowest, zero economic profits are here. So I think that's about it. Just remember, perfect competition and monopolistic competition cannot make profits in the long run. All right, so this is one of 3 that could be the main graph. The second one is draw a monopoly making money. I might have drawn one losing money. I can't remember, but either way. And, you know, I think I did losing money, to be honest with you. And then draw the loss box. And I'll give you a minute for that. I'm going to put up the chat box in case anyone has any questions. And after the natural monopoly, I just have some multiple choice questions that we could go over and get you to think about. A couple of guys came on while we started. Just to tell you, there's an outline under the topics page, Sunday review, if you want to go with that. Otherwise, I do suggest you draw the graphs on the 3 graphs to make sure you know how to draw them, even though you might know how to, you might think you do, but I think drawing them is a good thing. Okay, here is the Monopoly graph. I did have it losing money. Just remember MC equals MR up to demand. There's still some guys who forget that, up to demand. Now, you know, for the loss box, I'm going to stay on the profit maximizing line up to ATC and across, and that is my loss box. Okay, notice where MC crosses ATC is productively efficient. It should be kind of at the lowest point of your ATC curve. Remember, MC crosses demand is allocatively efficient. Where MR hits the axis, highest total revenue. If I draw that up, it's unit elastic. To the left is elastic. To the right is inelastic. All right. And then the last of the 3 graphs that you really need to focus on for the main question, I'll give you like a minute and a half to draw a natural monopoly. Okay, now I'm going to post the natural monopoly here. All right, demand in MR. Are the graphs of market in the monopoly is the firm and the industry, John, if that's what you're asking, as is, because in a monopoly, there's only really one person. So the graph is the industry. And in perfect competition, that's the side by side. So one side, the left side, which is the supply and demand, is the market and the industry. Is that what you wanted? Okay. All right. So the key to a natural monopoly is ATC is downward sloping. If ATC, John, could you flip on your mic? Because I'm not sure what you're really asking. Like, I'll go back. Here is the industry, and here's, so the market and the industry is to the left, the firms to the right in perfect competition. Here, there is no like firm, because the firm is the industry. They're both. Okay. And this is the only graph you would graph. Okay. And then here again, this is the firm and the industry. It's the only graph you would graph. I hope that explains it. All right. Downward sloping ATC. If ATC is down, okay, good. If ATC is downward sloping, MC has to be below it. where ATC crosses demand. That's fair return. Notice it's fair return price. So I go where ATC crosses demand, I cross, that's my price. Zero economic profits. Why? Because my PF times QF would be my total revenue, and PF times QF would be my total cost. So that's going to be zero. Where MC crosses demand is allocatively efficient, all right, or socially optimal. Notice that PR, that price, is below ATC, so I'm losing money. So for the only way for this natural monopoly to stay in business is if the government subsidizes. The monopoly, of course, wants MR equals MC, because that is the highest profit for them. Okay, so those are the three graphs you would need to know. All right, I'm just going to go over some of these terms quickly because I think they come up a lot on the test. Long run, fixed resource. Yes, Seabass, at allocatively efficient. Can they have a loss at profit maximizer? Not really. No, but they can have if you do socially optimal.
Would the ATC shift up, or would it
No, the
just stay like
ATC
that?
has to be downward sloping.
All right, thank you.
Otherwise, it's not a natural monopoly. Okay. All right. Long run versus short run. Long run has a fixed resource. Also, you could think of long run as zero economic profits in monopolistic competition and perfect competition. Rather, long run, no fixed resources. I hope I said it that way. No fixed resources, zero economic profit in the long and short run. In the short run, they could be making or losing money, and there is at least one fixed resource. Economic costs are both explicit and implicit costs. Accounting costs are just explicit. All right, so explicit costs are anything that comes out of your money, like anything you pay for. Implicit cost would be the cost I gave up, say, to be a teacher instead of a lawyer. Okay? Economists use explicit and implicit costs. So our ATC curve, that's explicit and implicit cost. Our MC curve, explicit and implicit cost. Accountants only use explicit. MR is in the product market, that's marginal revenue. That's the additional revenue for an additional output. MRP is in the labor market, that's marginal revenue product. That's the additional revenue for an additional input, usually a worker. MC is marginal cost. It's the additional cost for an additional output. MR equals MC is the profit maximizer in the product market. MRC or MFC, marginal resource cost or marginal factor cost, are the same. That's the additional cost for an additional worker. MRP equals MRC is the profit maximizer in the labor market or the resource market, okay? Productive efficiency is where MC crosses ATC or any spot on the production possibilities curve. Where MC crosses ATC or any spot on the production possibilities curve, it's producing at your least cost. Allocative efficiency is when MC crosses demand, and that's what society wants. So productive is your least cost, allocative, MC crosses demand, what society wants. All right, lump sum tax or subsidy is a one-time deal, say at the end of the year. Graphically, it shifts only the ATC. Per unit subsidy or excise tax is a tax or subsidy for every unit you produce. That shifts both the MC and the ATC. all the elasticities you really need to know. And I think you really need to know well. Yeah, productive efficiency, Jake, is where MC crosses ATC, every spot on the production possibilities curve. And all that says is you're producing at your least cost.
When you say it crosses ATC, does that mean like MC equals ATC?
Yeah, like here, I'm just going to try to highlight it so you see it. Just right at this spot here where MC crosses ATC. Can you see that?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay. All right. All right. Income elasticity is percentage change of quantity, always on top, over percentage change of income. Positive, normal, good, negative, inferior. Percentage change of quantity, quantity always on top, over percentage change in income. Positive, normal, good, negative, inferior. Cross price elasticity, percentage change of quantity demanded of product A, percentage change of quantity demanded of product A over percentage change of price of B. Positive, substitute, negative, complement. I didn't put here demand elasticity, which would be percentage change of quantity demanded over percentage change in price. And just remember, greater than 1, elastic, 1, unit elastic, less than 1, inelastic. I really believe there's like 4 to 6 multiple choice questions about elasticity. Okay, so I think if you know the elasticity, like those, they're easy if you know the formulas and you know the positive and negatives. All right, marginal cost versus marginal product. Just remember their inverse relationship, meaning when marginal cost goes down, marginal product is increasing. And when marginal product is decreasing, marginal cost is going up. For some reason, I have that down twice. Okay. The least cost combination is anytime you see labor and capital. And it's marginal product of labor over price of labor. Marginal product of labor over price of labor equals marginal product of capital over price of capital. And while, there's not 10 of those, there's usually one of them. So like, if you know that formula, it's just plugging in the formula. All right. And then maximizing satisfaction. That's like when you're trying to get the most satisfaction. That I've seen on FRQs, and I think we even did a practice FRQ with it. That's the marginal utility of X over the price of X equals the marginal utility of Y over the price of Y. Just remember, you always want to increase the bigger number. You shut down in the short run if price is below AVC. You shut down in the short run if price is below AVC, and you exit in the long run if price is below ATC. Okay. Any questions on any of these? All right. I got some multiple choice to practice on. What I'm going to say is wait a minute. I'll tell you when I want you to type in the answer, and then I'll try to explain the answer. If tortilla chips are a normal good, what happens to equilibrium price and quantity when there is an increase in income? Give you about 30 more seconds. Okay. All right, type in what you think. I got people typing in C's like crazy here. Okay, it is C. It's timer. And that's taste income. So there it is. All right, next up. This looks like one of those. If the price of a good is increased by 15% and quantity demanded changes by 20%, then the absolute value of price elasticity of demand is equal to. Again, I'll give you a minute. Okay, 1, 2, 3. What do we have? All right, we got C's again, and that would be quantity demanded over price. 20 over 15 is 1 1/3, 1.33. That would be an elastic good because it's greater than 1. They didn't ask that, but just throw that in. There it is, percentage change, quantity demanded. Okay. The cross price elasticity of electricity with respect to the price of natural gas has been estimated as being equal to 0.2. That implies that. I'll give you a minute to think about it. Okay, what do we have here? Okay, I see us hitting Ellen, and that is correct. It is a positive number. Cross price is a substitute. Now, they do like they did here, like normal goods and like all these things that it can't be, like inferior goods. You could cross those out, and you just get to a positive is a substitute. Okay.
Is income the only one that's if it's above 1 or like less 1? Is that the one with the above 1
No.
less 1?
No, that's demand elasticity.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Income and cross price are positive and negatives. Demand is greater than 1 is elastic, 1 is unit elastic, less than 1 is inelastic.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I hope we could figure out the dominant strategy for purple rain here. Because, oh yeah, because we could see purple rains. Okay. I will give you a minute to look at this and try to figure out the dominant strategy. Again, while it's not all the time, there is time. There is times where the FRQ is on game theory. Spro, you're not like waiting for me to say 1, 2, 3. You're just typing in your answer there. All right, what's the dominant strategy? 1, 2, 3. What do we got here? Is Spiro right? That's what I want to know. All right, people are saying Spiro's right. All right, if Blue Spring goes high, Purple Rain could go high and make 20, low and make 50. They're gonna go low. Blue Spring goes low, Purple Rain could lose 2,000. All right, it was correct. And we got that. All right. That's good that people feel good about that because like I said, that can be an FRQ. Okay. I'll give you like 30 seconds to think of the marginal product of the third worker. Okay, what do we have for the marginal product of the third worker? All right, everyone's getting the 7. Okay, look, all these, when they give you a table, all the marginals are the same, right? It'd be 3 minus 2, 27 minus 20 gives you 7. The same thing is total product is always highest when the marginal product is 0. And if you just look at the bottom, like 36 minus 35, the marginal product is 1. And like, the next one might be the highest, but it's always highest at like at 0, So they like to ask that. And I would say there'll be one question like this with the table, either asking marginal revenue, marginal product, marginal cost, but you figure them out all the same. All right. What happens to firms in the long run? So this is monopolistic competition. I'm asking what happens to firms in the long run. Okay. 1, 2, 3. What happened to firms? Mike, are we making or losing money here?
Losing money? Oh wait, no, never mind. It's below. It's making money.
We're
My bad.
making money, so firms are going to enter, right?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. So firms are going to enter and demand and MR are going to drop down because what's going to happen is my market share is going to decrease. So my demand and MR are going to drop down. Remember, in monopolistic competition, you cannot make money in the long run. And you'd end up looking like this in the long run. And I don't know what before I even ask this question, if a firm raises its price, what happens to total revenue? I just want to also remind you, because they sometimes ask this, in monopolistic competition where MC crosses ATC, if I take that down, the difference between QL and QE is excess capacity. Okay, and excess capacity happens in the long run in monopolistic competition. All right, now I'll give you a minute. If the firm raises its prices, what happens to total revenue and what happens to profits? All right, I'll probably ask you total revenue first, and then I'll ask you profits second. Give you like 45 seconds to think about it. Okay. So I'm going to ask you, is total revenue going to increase, decrease, or stay the same? Increase, decrease, or stay the same? I've got total revenue decreasing, down, decreasing, down. Okay. Everyone who said that is correct. Look, the first thing to think about, if you can't remember the elasticity part, is for it to raise its price, it has to be to the left of QL. Therefore, it's moving further away than from where MR hits the axis, which is the highest total revenue. The part they would ask you to explain is that in the elastic part of the curve, which that is, price up, total revenue down. Now I'm going to ask you the same question about profits. Are profits going to increase, decrease, or stay the same? 1, 2, 3. What's going to happen to profits? Okay, I've got a couple of decreases, and profits are going to decrease. Anytime they're not on the profit maximizer, any place besides the profit maximizer, profits would decrease. Okay, any questions on that? Because they ask similar questions like that, like a lot. All right. Suppose a monopolistically competitive firm can increase its profits by decreasing its output. Then it must be the case that at the current level of output, give you a minute. All right, Spur, I just hope you have a lot of common sense Tuesday. Okay, what do we have here? 1, 2, 3. I've got some Ellens. Anyone else? I've got an A. I've got some Ellens. Well, marginal revenue has to be less than marginal cost. Now, the reason A isn't the answer is that it's true if marginal revenue is less than 0, you can increase your profits by decreasing output. The problem is it could be above 0 and still be less than marginal cost, and you could decrease your profits. And by, if we just like looked here, anywhere to the right, so like if I pick out like here, if you look, marginal revenue is still positive, but like there is my marginal cost and it's greater than my marginal revenue. So if I decrease output, I get closer to the profit maximizer. Okay, so this is one where I would look. Now, some people had A. Yeah, A is true. I mean, if you're over here in the negative, but there's other situations, and that's why E is the answer. All right, I did see, I think someone else had a different answer, D. I just want to see what D says. If price is less than average total cost, again, that's a certain situation that would occur, but I mean, you really base like output on marginal revenue and marginal cost. And when they ask you these questions, anytime they're saying like, can he increase profits by decreasing its output? marginal revenue has to be less. Anytime they're saying increase the output, marginal revenue has to be more. Okay? Any questions on that? That's a question they like ask in twisted terms a lot. All right. All right. Give you a minute to decipher through all of this. I think this is a tough one. All right. What do we have for this? 1, 2, 3. What do we got? We got some people knocking in D. Seems like a lot of people on shore. D is correct. All right. First, I would say B and C of it. B, average fixed cost. Average fixed costs cannot be increasing. I mean, because fixed costs are the same, and as you increase output, so you can knock that out. If marginal cost is 55 and total cost is 40, total cost has to go up. This is again like your average. If your average in the class is a 40 and you score 55, your average has to go up. Okay. So at D is average fixed cost is decreasing because average fixed cost always is decreasing, but both variable cost and total cost. Well, marginal cost, if that goes up, variable cost follows it, and so does total.
Will fixed costs ever go up in any scenario?
No. Fixed cost is always the same. Average fixed cost always goes down as output increases.
Oh, okay. And then it's the inverse, right? It's the opposite. If it were to go down, it'd go up.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So it's like an inverse relationship
Yeah.
between average variable cost.
No. Just average fixed cost is $10, right?
Yeah.
So rather fixed cost is $10. It's $10 for 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4. Fixed cost stays the same. When you get the average, it's 10 divided by 1 unit, 10 divided by 2 units, 10 divided by, so that same number keeps getting divided by a bigger unit. So average fixed cost has to go down.
Oh, okay. So this one's more like dividing. Got it.
Yes. And then
Thank you.
Spiro, if the average total cost is 40, and then the next unit costs 55, what has to happen to average total cost? No, hold it. Spiro, the average is 40 and the next unit costs 55. It has to go up. Okay, so that's all this is saying. The average total cost is 40. The marginal cost, which is the next unit, is 55. I forgot, is it 50? Is 55. So therefore, the average total cost has to go up. But fixed cost is always going to go down. Okay. All right. I saw the light bulb. I saw the light bulb go off. All right. All right. I think we have 2 more. All right. If a competitive firm pays its workers the value of marginal product of the last worker hired. Okay, I'll give you a minute. Whoop. Okay. What do you guys got? All right, I got A, E, and D. Got a little of everything here. All right. All right. All right. A says the firm will not earn any economic profits. That isn't true only because the firm could have earned economic profits on previous workers. Okay. The firm will maximize profits because the value of the marginal product is the MRP and the wage is the MRC. So if they equal, you will maximize. If I bring in $60, like I make 6 pizzas at $10 a pizza, my marginal revenue product or my value of the marginal product is 60. And then if they pay me 60, and if I'm the last worker, the profit is 0. So it's E as in Ellen. Okay. All right. I like to do just one more because I pretty much kept you then for an hour, which is a little longer than usual, but let's just do this one more. Okay, what do we have for this one? All right, we got C, good. The firm can prevent resale. So otherwise, I would sell it to Alicio and then he could resell it. I'm hurting myself. I just want to go over, the firm is a member of a cartel. That would be oligopolies, okay? Antitrust laws would be to break up monopolies. There. Okay, I'm going to stop us here because we put in an hour. Demand curve for a product is perfectly inelastic. Man, you don't really have perfectly inelastic demand curves usually. The demand curve for a product is perfectly elastic. That's perfect competition, the firm. Okay. But I would say if a demand curve for a product is perfectly inelastic, that product is going to pay almost all of the tax. And remember, on an excise tax, the firm with the most inelastic will take the biggest brunt. All right, guys, like I said, if anyone has any questions, you could type them in. I'm going to stop us here. I do encourage you to take the practice test. I will be on tomorrow at 7:45 to answer any questions. If any of you are around tomorrow and you want to meet me, just shoot me an email and we can meet. I'll be in tomorrow. Thank you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Mr. Brester?
Yeah, I am going to post this video. Yes.
Yeah, I just have a quick question before I go.
Yeah.
I was doing the giant study guide that you sent, and I just had a quick question about like 2 or 3 questions.
Yeah.
Do we need to know about drawing non-colluding oligopoly graphs?
No.
Okay, and then the second question that I had was, if I can, just give me a second here. Are we gonna go over the packet on Monday? In the morning?